It's October 1987, and a couple of Gold Coast nursery and landscape suppliers are relaxing at the end of one of the most exciting 3-week four-wheel drive adventures of their lives when they went this way to Cape York. After some kilometres of rainforest comes the first real four-wheel drive test. It's a long and very steep hill, over 1 kilometre from the bottom to the top, just about low gear all the way up. Once up the top, take a deep breath, enjoy the scenery, and stay in low gear for the exciting trip down. After the Dulhunty crossings, there's a short stretch of good roads bringing you to the Heathlands turnoff. Heathlands is a national park and goes to the right. To the left is the infamous Gunshot, which is now impassable. On Stan and Bob's last trip to the Cape, Gunshot was open. In fact, they were the last vehicles to cross it. Gunshot was a very difficult crossing. It required at least 2 vehicles. Stan took this film near Gunshot last time. About 20 kilometres further on is a small turn-off to the right. It's missed by most people heading for the Cape, but it's a detour well worth taking as it heads to Usher Point on the coast. Both Stan and Bob are adamant that this detour shouldn't be made unless you're fairly experienced and have a couple of cars. This part of the coast is full of strange and wonderful sights. Almost as soon as you get on the beach, you see the wreck of an old Cessna airplane. It was supposed to have been crashed and abandoned by drug smugglers, who disappeared before the wreck was discovered. The Coast Watch does an aerial surveillance of this area at odd times, looking for poachers, smugglers or stranded travellers.
We normally write OK in the sand and he gives you a little bit of a flick of his wings.
Or a thumbs up.
Yeah.
There are also old wrecks of boats. On one of the beach fishing walks, they come across a deserted camp. Tents, Land Cruiser and all.
And that car was lost. The water had come over the top of it. They left everything in it. There was rifles in the back, you'll see.
Yeah.
Oh, there, look at the starter and it's on the seat. Well, the alternator, it's got the same problem as us.
Then the boys discovered another abandoned Land Cruiser out to sea, so it's out in the tinny to investigate. The car is about 200 metres out from the shore.
3 vehicles attempted to drive from Usher Point to Captain Billy's Landing, and they had to go around through Orford Bay. But when you go past Orford Bay, you sort of leave the shore at least 5 miles or 5 kilometres away from you. So what they decided to do was come back and hug the shore. And the first vehicle, which was the Toyota, hit the soft mud, and they were on CB contact. And he warned the vehicle behind him immediately to stop, that he was down, and he was down good. And then what happened is apparently they had a winch on another vehicle there. It was an F100. They tried to tow it out with the winch, which was a fairly long pull, and they ended up snapping the cable on it, and the F100 started to get into danger. So they decided to take the 2 other vehicles onto the beach and dig this one out and as they were doing that, the tide just came in and beat them.
After waiting in the blazing sun for 4 hours for the tide to drop low enough, it's back over the Logan Jack and back towards the Cape. At last, the two trucks make Bamaga, the town at the top. It's quite a large township, populated mainly by islanders. And there it is, your destination after your trials and tribulations, Cape York. Just along the beach is the wreck of an old Taiwanese fishing boat, which makes interesting exploring. The flagpole. A lot of people mistake it for their ultimate destination, and at high tide they're often right. However, the tide is lower, so Arthur decides to stand on the very tip. But there's always someone to go one better. We finally lure Stan out from behind the camera and record him for posterity. This is as far as you can go on mainland Australia, and it's certainly worth everything an off-roader has to go through to get here. Of course, there are other ways to get to the Cape. These kayaks were paddled from Tasmania. This yacht came from almost anywhere. And this plane flies a regular service. But we'll be back again after the wet. And we'll be driving.